I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and it's episode 100. And for this special occasion, I have with me Dave Neal returning to the channel. Hello, Dave.
Oh, you're so chipper. This is nice. This is like Xanax for me.
Yeah, that's me. That's my channel. Thank you. Thank you for the chipperness.
I love the backlighting too. Did you have that last time? Is this an upgrade?
No, this is an upgrade. I don't know if the last time I talked to you, I think I was still in the closet. I used to be in a closet and then I came out.
I'm still in the closet. I'm there for life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, look, I love a good studio upgrade. We match kind of.
We do. I like your studio upgrade. I was gonna say it. I like.
Yeah, I bought a light. What can you do? You know.
Oh, whatever. That's good. I wanted to get one of those like neon ones that says like Nina Infinity or like Hope or something like that, because I do my Infinite Hope show with the good news stuff. So I was like.
No, they're not that expensive. The problem is the focus keeps finding the light, not my face. So you'll see me go in and out of focus. It's everything you add, it creates a new problem.
This is true. That's the story of
but look at this. I've got this is what's interesting. Check this out. I'm on Wi-Fi mode, so I just hit a button and my lights go out. Isn't that nice?
That's cool.
Turn the button on and turn the studio up.
I can go to party mode. Look at.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good like super chat mode.
Yeah, that's true. I should do that. That's good, Dave. You just gave me an idea.
I had that for my light. I don't know where it is, and it's the same thing. It's like it creates it's like bad if you have are prone to seizures.
That's true. You know what though? That's a great idea. Because I needed something for the super chats, and now I'm like, oh, I have that. Okay, that's a good idea.
Lost the clicker. I can't do it. You get all the strobe love.
I just wanted to, by the way, also say congratulations because your son is born now. I think he was born then too, like when I first talked to you, but like now he's really a person.
He's like really born. Yeah.
He's really born.
We decided to keep him. He's eating. We have to like log all the foods he's eating. He's using the toilet. I mean, it's real life.
Congratulations. He's alive. You've basically struggled through the first year of life basically. And now he's here.
But can I be honest? These parents complain. I'm not here to complain. It's not, it's what it is. It's work. But it's love, You always hear parents, oh my, terrible. Wait till the twos. Once they turn 5, they'll try to kill you. Every year they tell you something new, and it's like, all right, okay, parents, why don't you go back to therapy or something.
Calm down. Yeah, everybody needs to chill. Um, I also know that you had another success. I was keeping track of that for a while.
Did I?
The Eckerd case, that one, the appeal apparently, I think her appeal. Why don't you give us the lowdown of what the latest news or what happened?
All right, I'll take a victory lap. This
Yes.
lady tormented men for years, and she was undefeated until she met our community, and we put her in her place. She has taken more L's than loads since we got involved. I mean, she of course claimed she was pregnant from a couple blowjobs, and then we get
Tonsil
involved.
twins.
Yeah, tonsil twins, the whole turkey baster boys, whatever you want to call them, and the Siamese spits. I don't know. We're just making things up now. But yeah, she lost. She's got to pay $150,000 in this guy's legal expenses, bachelor.
Oh yay!
And then she filed the appeal. And then, of course, 3 judges all came by to say, no, your appeal stinks. So they're like, well, we're going to go to the state court or the state Supreme Court and then the federal Supreme Court. I'm like, I think they got their hands full, but good luck with that. So
you didn't get rejected with prejudice, so they can't do it again?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea if any of that even matters in this little family court, because they were only at this point arguing over court costs, over legal fees, because she admitted she wasn't pregnant. So that was her deal, right? She would say, oh, I'm no longer pregnant. Let's move it on. And then finally the guys are like, actually, since this is about the 80th time you've done this, or 3rd or 5th or whatever, they were like, you know what? Let's just not let this happen again. So the guys are happy. And I mean, it was about as kind of as resounding as a response as you're going to get from the judges. They were like, there's no factual information at all involved in this appeal. They didn't even ask for an oral argument. So yeah, couldn't have gone better. And that happened, I think, Friday evening. That is when that came out. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you, because I know you guys did a lot of work, and she was threatening you with lawsuits and stuff. How's that going? Is she still wanting to?
No, she has since dropped her. She was suing me for harassment. She had threatened me with a $120 million defamation case. Hasn't shown up yet. She's also, my guess is she'll sue me for emotional distress. She's very thin, and I feel bad for her. Her family needs to get involved. She's not good. And
Ariana Grande thin?
Yeah, seriously, yeah. And the issue is 2 men ago, her previous victim, Greg Gillespie, she sued him for emotional distress, and the judge kind of threw it out because she didn't have enough of a paper trail as to her claims of why it was because of him. So this time she goes from being this thick kind of burrito belly, I'm pregnant, to now she's emaciated. And I'm like, look, I feel bad. I do. But also, what are we supposed to do? Let you sue us? Let you call the FBI on us? Let you do all these crazy things she did? So it's somebody get control of your daughter over there.
Isn't it interesting how, I'm assuming this woman is very narcissistic, but it's very, it's interesting to me how she kind of operates like Blake Lively does, because that's how they operate. It's a modus operandi that they have, narcissists, just generally speaking. So much of what you just said to me is also kind of what Justin Baldoni is going through,
Well, there's a lot of similarities with Blake Lively. It's she's super successful, right? It's almost you can understand a successful person. They get their assistants and they get all the yes people around them. I almost can see Blake Lively being who she is more than Laura. Laura's there's never been anything to grant her the diva that she commands.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's at least Blake's hey, she can be a lead in a movie, This Laura girl, it's delusion. And this point, I just feel bad for her, but we'll see.
Don't feel bad for her.
It's hard not to. It's like feeling bad for somebody as that person's threatening you. It's look, this is a you problem, but also I got to protect my family. And that's kind of how everyone feels with it. Just stop, stop digging. She can't hit rock bottom until she stops digging. And it's she released a video yesterday. She makes a Medium article. It's how all these judges got it wrong. Can you imagine? These people are all right, every once in a while a judge gets it wrong, but then all 3 appeals judges, they didn't see it.
All of them. Everyone's wrong. Everyone's wrong, Dave. Speaking of baby mama drama, there was also a very, very intriguing update that happened just now online. I don't know if you've heard about all this baby mama drama with Elon Musk, with Ashley Sinclair.
Mm,
Have you heard about all that?
sure, yeah.
Yeah, so Maury chimed in, and he says, "You want to find out?" The Maury show wants to do the "Are you the father?"
I mean, I can tell you right now before Maury gets a hold of it, he's the dad. I mean, what are you talking about?
He's
Of
the dad
course he's
for
the
sure.
dad. He's throwing this celestial seed in everybody. He's giving them the old, the old Tesla, whatever. I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. Pay the lady, if you're going to do the deed, pay the child support, be an absentee father, and join the rest of us.
I know he's a little crazy, Elon Musk, just a tad. I'm not into his weird transhumanism. I'm not the biggest fan of Elon Musk, but this whole thing has been just hilarious because I'm like, I mean, you could have found out if you're the dad pretty freaking quickly and you still haven't found out, which kind of shows me that you knew because that's why you've been paying her this much money. I mean,
It's so crazy because people generally when you get in, he's not a politician, but he's obviously in politics. And we used to judge people on how they were as like a man, right? It's like family values. How are you? And that just doesn't seem to matter anymore. I still personally Charlie Sheen's daughter doesn't talk to him. And it's like, whenever you see a story like that, you're like, all right, that's probably the parent being a piece of shit. Sometimes it's not, but when it's multiple stories of like people who can't stand Elon Musk that his kids can't, it's like, oh, you're the problem. So he's got this problem, right? He's always like, oh, the biggest issue in the world is that we're going to have a population collapse. And it's like, what good is being a father if you're not going to deliver the principles of fatherhood? Like you're not. And he goes, oh, my son died to the woke mind virus. Well, then why don't you be a good dad to your trans daughter then?
Thank you, Dave. Yes, preach. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This whole yeah, like I said, he's like such a transhumanist. It like really creeps me out with his like, oh, I'm just gonna go and like make all these babies with embryos and make the perfect specimen. Like he wants all male children, and the guy's just weird. It's
and I don't understand this idea of colony collapse. There's 8 billion people. We would be just fine if it's 300 million people. There would be no line at Starbucks. Sure, like I get it. It would be a little and I'm not saying that should happen. There was a good book about that, how like there's a lot of conspiracies that there's like this sinister plot to like create this disease that way. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. But it's like, we certainly don't need a larger population. I'm sure they could fit 50 billion people on Earth. Like Greenland's got plenty of open space, but it's like, at what point is it like one of those post-apocalyptic movies where we're all like looking like Bane with, just trying to breathe some shitty air? It's like,
if it's up to him, we're all going to be like cyberpunk and like, just like everybody's got like, robotic parts and like a bunch of like Ghosts in the Shell.
Yeah, we all look like we're going to what's that Joshua Tree thing, the burning what's it called? Burning Man.
Burning Man?
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's like Burning Man every day of the year. Oh, great fun.
Oh God.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of problems that can be fixed. He's like one of those guys that he hits the nail on the head that there are these problems, but in what direction are we heading? Like you see all these billionaires that are like they're all about like world domination. And then you see times when like Jeff Bezos, his ex-wife, she receives billions of dollars. She starts donating it all. We need more women billionaires to take the money from the men. So it's like, it's true.
So they can start donating.
He starts to make it, and then he gets on testosterone and buys a couple of yachts. It's like, oh, that's good for society, sure. And it's like, whatever you want. I say this: do whatever you want with your first $1 billion, and then get taxed at 100% after that. If you can't find what you're looking for with your first $1 billion, then you're done. And then the bootlickers will go, well, but the trickle down, they're just sucking that Bezos bald-headed dick waiting for, their end of the bargain as if it's coming. Newsflash, it ain't coming to you, lower middle class. Bezos is going to let you onto the yacht.
No, it's not. I feel like both those guys are totally like super villains in the making. Like Bezos is clearly Lex Luthor. Like, I mean, he already looks the part. And then I've always thought Elon Musk was kind of like Yellow Flash or like Reverse Flash, whatever you want to call him, because he's like really like he's like a scientist. He wants to make things, and then he's gonna go fuck crazy all of a sudden, and then just want to kill everybody, including the entire world, and send us into some other dimension.
At
Blah,
least
blah, blah.
Elon Musk has, at least the electric car can save society, like by making it desirable. Like he did save the electric car industry. He really did. I mean, they destroyed that thing, and he's like, well, what do we do this? So I'll give him that. Bezos, on the other hand, I mean, I live near one of those Amazon fulfillment things, and I get it. All day long, we're buying Amazon. The drones are dropping things off. It is driven out any small business. It's just curb stomping. The margins are so bad. People are pissing in their jeans trying to deliver the products fast enough. And I got some relatives that live near the one of the main airports where they ship out of, and it's just nonstop Amazon planes left and right. And it's you start to see this world.
That's crazy.
Do we really need this? Like, we thought Walmart was bad. This is making Walmart look like some indie coffee and tea shop.
Yeah, there was an episode of, I think it was oh my God, it wasn't Black Mirror, but it was like Electric Dream. Do sheep dream of electric dreams? It was like this kind of like Black Mirror-esque show. It was a while ago, and there was one episode where it was about that, and the world had ended, but like the drones didn't know when to stop, because they kept going, and everything had become automatic. So like the robots kept making stuff, and the drones kept delivering them, but they didn't know what to do. So there was like piles of boxes like everywhere, because they would just like drop them off at different places. And it was like,
there's like sometimes it's good. Like we just bought a Shark vacuum, like the robot, and I was against it because we tried to buy one of these like 8 years ago, and it'd get stuck on a toothpick. But the new one like maps out our whole house. And
is that like the robot one that like walks
it's a little
around?
circular. It's just a little circular one. And then what it does, we bought it like a month ago, and you only have to change the dirt out of it like once a month, because it'll go to its dock and it'll push all the dirt into a larger thing, and then it'll just work. And so like we'll come home and there'll be like lines on all of the carpets of like perfectly vacuumed house. And I'm like, I like it. Because again, they used to stink, but now it'll come into my office and it'll just drive over the cords and stuff. So it's, some automation and stuff is good, but it's like when it's the billionaires doing it, it's not to make the middle class any better. All of that money gets absorbed upwards. So like, sure, we save a few bucks on some inflatable bullshit we buy and we get it the next day, but like, there's no middle ground. It's like, I don't know. I think it's run its course, and it'd be cool to live in a society where you just go, like my hometown doesn't allow fast food. My hometown is a tourist town in Rhode Island, Newport, Rhode Island. You can't find a McDonald's. There's none of that. And
That's
it's
crazy.
Like, you go to a nice restaurant or you don't, or like there's smaller restaurants, but it's like, it keeps all of the lifestyle things there that capitalism would smack a McDonald's in the middle of it. And you go, no, it doesn't fit the aesthetic. Like there's building planning that happens there. They tried to build a Target next to my mom's house, and they were like, no, not in this town. Like this town's quaint. It's on an island. It's small. They're like, no, thank you. And it's been good for them. But, capitalism's a hell of a thing. Like we all shop at these places, and, we're all kind of part of like, I think like,
sure we are.
Put it on the consumer to do the right thing. You have to set some policies, because like in the end, it's like, yeah, I'd love to help the environment, but also give me the cheap thing, like I'd love to buy a phone that wasn't made in China, even if it's a little bit more expensive, but like, come on, there's no even comparable solution to the problem right now.
No, not right now. I've always had this philosophy when it comes to Elon Musk, which is like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I think he's just kind of paving the way there, but we have a lot of other stuff to talk about. So
now that we lost half of your audience,
I know it's like everyone's like, why is there?
It's like, you know what? I got a Tesla. I love the technology. It's just like, all right.
Did you put one of those stickers on it?
No, because I live in Tennessee now, so it's like either love it or hate it. It's like not. But if I was back in New York, I'd have to be like, sorry.
Yeah, like you have to put one of those stickers. All my friends in LA have Teslas, and they've all like put stickers on their car.
I think the
I did
people
it.
that are
I bought it before I knew he was crazy.
that's like people that protest through the consumer in that way. It's like, chill out. Okay. I had this
Yeah.
issue a few years ago when I'm a big New Balance guy, and one of the CFO of New Balance, before Trump was even elected years ago, was like, hey, maybe these trade policies will help out. And everyone wanted to cancel New Balance. And I'm like, idiots. New Balance is like the only shoe that's still made in the United States.
Wow. I
Like
didn't know that.
literally,
That's cool.
oh, it's like a main shoe. You know, some of it's made in some other countries, but most of it is like the most made shoe here. And it's like they all wanted to cancel. And then you'd be wearing New Balance and people would look at you. This is like 7 or 8 years ago. And you'd get in trouble. And you'd be like, shut up. It's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing that game.
That's hilarious. I always find Americans a little bit funny because I'm a big fan of sports, and whenever like even in Canada they do it too, but mostly with hockey. Like in America they do it with like football or like basketball and stuff like that too. But they'll burn like a jersey if like a team member leaves and goes to another team or whatever. They'll be like, "Oh, you betrayed us. We're going to burn your jerseys," and basically like all the stuff that they paid for. And so like now I saw a video of this guy and he's like, I bought this Tesla so I can destroy it. And I was like, really, bro? Like like you sure showed him. Like,
It's all men who weren't hugged enough by their fathers. This is what happens. You know, like
Elon Musk.
Yeah, we'll throw our remote control at the TV when our guy misses a field goal because our dad never said he loved us. You know, it's like, God damn. Do we have some
There's a lot of issues. Okay, let's talk about more issues. Justin Baldoni's lawyer responded to Ryan Reynolds because Ryan Reynolds was like, I want out. I want out of this lawsuit. I have nothing to do with it. This guy harassed my wife, and I had every right to bully him and put him in my movie and dress up as nice spool and call this guy a loser and basically kill him and do all this shit. I was justified because he sexually harassed my wife. I actually kind of can't believe, Dave, that he admitted to it. I was like, that's a weird flex to be like, yeah, I did it. Like,
yeah,
but it's just jokes, bro. Like, that's a weird
when this
thing.
whole case came out and Baldoni was saying, oh, they made a character off of me. I was like, all right, calm down, victim. I was like, all right, this is, and then I saw it and I was like, ugh. Like, this is really like, he almost didn't believe it because at that point in December, it was all Blake. She hit him in every single way. If he didn't have the means to respond, case closed. It's done. Go back to where you came from, so it took but it was, I think really hopeful for critical thinking in society that people kind of instantly, they like took a second, read the new information and just changed their minds. I was like, we need to embrace, this is great to see people able to kind of put the pitchfork down and change their mind on it.
Yeah, it's a crazy case in general, like generally speaking, because I mean, well, for me, when I saw this movie, I was a fan of Ryan Reynolds. And I had mixed feelings on Ryan Reynolds because he's from Vancouver and I know guys like this all my life. So I was just like, I kind of know, like you seem like an asshole, but kind of like a lovable asshole, like everybody's just like,
he's super charming. I've seen him since Van Wilder, and he was great in Van Wilder. No problem. I'm not gonna be one of those that's like, oh, this guy's terrible. No, he's one of the biggest Hollywood stars out there.
But that's why this case became so interesting to me, because I found out like Ryan Reynolds seems like an extreme narcissist who, has this huge platform and basically is an actual influence on young men growing up. And I'm like, wow, this is what people look up to. And he's showing everybody that this is how you run your life. This is how you conduct yourself, like whether it's behind the scenes or whatever, like putting this thing in the movie or whatever. When I saw Deadpool, that whole scene and character felt off. Like at first I was like, I guess it's funny. Like it was kind of like a bit that went on way too long. You're a comedian, you know what I'm talking about. Like at some point you have to kind of know.
Man bun male feminist bit. Sure. Like it's an easy trope. It exists.
Yeah. But it went on for way too long. I was like, it's kind of weird how this bit just is keep going and keep going. And then later, when this all came out, I was like, holy shit. Now it makes sense why it was so weird and it didn't fit with the entirety of the movie.
Yeah,
It's as if it was almost like, I'm just gonna slip this in here now.
It's hard to believe creatively someone would do something in their own film that would be like out of spite for something else. Like, most cookies are like the street signs, my son's name. Justin had some cookies and by cookies I mean just little secret insider jokes. He had a few. I think the name of the business that Blake Lively's character bought in it with us was the name of his kids, right? It's like that's harmless. It's there if you see it, but it's not a thing.
Mhm.
This was like you're changing a script to get some guy. Like, yeah, it's very bizarre. And I think with Ryan, if I wanted to like give him credit and Blake Lively, I think they it's a game, right? So everything's maximizing your revenue, your Mint Mobile, your liquor. For her, the hair care line, like they don't need the money. It's like, how can I synergize? There's a lot of people in their agencies that are like, what can we do next? Well, I love coffee. Let's make you a coffee brand. Like you just become this machine. And I think the collateral damage, like let's assume that Ryan was kind of just believing Blake. I don't know if that's the case, but let's just assume he's believing his wife. He's seeing the dailies. He's jealous. And then she's like, yeah, but he's a creep. And she's like, whoa. And it becomes this thing. Then the business side of Ryan Reynolds goes, well, let's get control of this film. Let's make it yours. You'll be getting the residuals and next thing you know, you'll be selling all these things. Like there's that business. We talked about it earlier. It's almost like late stage capitalism. It's like too much capitalism involved in their brand can lead to what backfires. Like Blake Lively's got a liquor company and she doesn't drink. I'm against promoting something you don't use, right? It's like, what do you?
Me too.
And by the way, I mean, I take an ad read that's like, I don't know, some VPN, sure. But we're talking like alcohol's a drug. If you do it, great. If you're like a big whiskey guy, great, do it. But if you don't live by that, that's kind of grifty. So,
well, I think it's even more weird and sinister than that, because it's like, I mean, she could have like, she picked like the shampoo thing, sure, but like when she was promoting this movie, It Ends With Us, and it was about, DV, like putting liquor commercials or like, promoting your liquor and then like kind of doing it with that's kind of weird to me, because there's such a correlation between DV and alcoholism. And
yeah, I mean, imagine if it's a movie where a guy kills his family drunk driving, and it's like you wouldn't pre-promote. It's the same thing. It's like this is a danger. It's dangerous, and I believe
it's tone deaf. It's very tone deaf.
They completely don't even see it as what the brand is, because to them it's money on a balance sheet.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the flying too close to the sun, because you get reckless and you're like, yeah, just do it, whatever. Yeah, wear the florals, chug my thing, go check that out. And it's like, hold on a second. Like, your Blake Lively should have skincare and hair care align. It doesn't have to succeed, but you should. Like, if you're Jennifer Aniston, you should be working with Maybelline. Like these brands line up. That's how it should be. So I'm not hating on making the extra thing. That's just how it works.
Well, I mean, like one of the most successful women that do that is Jessica Alba. Like, her story, right? Because she used to be an actress, and then she made her line of, I think it's like baby essential baby stuff, because she realized that there's nothing like organic and stuff like that. So she made her line, and she's now like a billionaire with her line. She quit acting. She is like one of the most successful.
Came back, maybe I'm wrong.
She's starting to dabble again, because she like recently divorced her husband and is like, now I'm single and ready to mingle, and I'm gonna go back to like doing stuff.
Jessica Alba was in my timeline. She
looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think she was in a movie called like Deep Blue or something. Boy, he didn't have access I mean, back in the day, you just had a hot movie. You had to go to the movies to catch some tail. It was a tough time in the 90s, folks. But yeah, I mean, Reese Witherspoon, right? She starts like a book blog and acquires the rights to all these books, and now she's printing money, because she's like the executive and optioning all these books. The problem with Blake is like she hasn't done any of the work to gain control of the option. Like you have to, like Justin Baldoni for years was working with Colleen Hoover to get the rights to this and get it seen and all of that. Like it's his. Sorry, finders keepers. So figure out your own thing. Do with it what you want. I'm all about people getting in control so they can have the power to make those decisions. But like you're just not in control, and you didn't get control through any sort of ethical means.
Well, and that's the crazy part, right? Because of all this stuff that's starting to come out, right? And then it's like that one clip came out from her being like, yeah, I go into acting auditions all the time. And then I get the part, and then I decide that I actually want to direct, and I actually want to do all this other stuff. And sometimes they're cool with it and sometimes they're not. But she literally admitted that that's what she does. It's like, that's her modus operandi. Like she's going to go and do this. And I was like shocked by that, because I'm like, you're such a powerful woman in Hollywood. You have one of the most powerful male celebrities, Ryan Reynolds, at your side. You can do your own thing. Like you can be like, I want to be a director now. I don't want to be an actress anymore. I'm going to go direct, and I'm going to go do this thing. And this is going to be my project. Why did you have to latch on to this other guy's thing and be like, I'm just going to steal this from you?
And it's so cheap to make your own passion project, especially with the sort of like cachet she has with her name. You can get things done so dang cheap to do it that way. And yeah, I think one of the biggest problems I think with her is she got success too easily, that it doesn't fill like the void. Like she didn't have to go through the same journey a lot of people have to go through.
She's a Nepo baby.
Well, I mean, yeah, you think of certain people that you spend 10 years fighting, crying, auditioning, side gigs, waiter, cater, Uber, you see all these things. Then you get that role and you're like, I am so dang. I used to stand in for Matt Bomer. He is one of the most talented people in Hollywood. I don't know if you've seen, he was on White Collar, and he's on a new show. He went to Cornell. He was him and who's the other guy from Deal or No Deal? Joe Manganiello were one of like several people that came out of this program, and they're just genius actors. And he kind of like worked hard for it. And even though he was the star, you wouldn't know it. If you met him, you wouldn't even know it. And struggle is a good thing in life to
build character.
It builds character. And I mean, I always say this: if I rock it and things go well, and then I can just give my son like a successful YouTube channel, he's not going to know those years of just like tinkering around. Like there has to be a certain amount of struggle in order to appreciate the reward. And I'm not one of those, like, you have to live in poverty, like you have to be a poor artist mindsets, but the dopamine comes from like years of salivating over what you're going to do when you get to the top of that mountain. And it was like, she was like medevac to the top of the mountain. So now it's like, well, that doesn't do it for me. I want to direct, and that's not going to do it. And she's just going to be that like rich chick from, Willy Wonka, who's like, Daddy, I want a movie to direct. And he's like, okay,
yeah. Except her daddy is Ryan Reynolds, and he's just like, yeah, okay, baby, whatever you want. Do you believe that whole theory that he's actually gay?
I mean, I could care less. I couldn't care less. The Hugh Jackman, the gay rumors have been around for so long with him. I actually knew someone who was his nanny for his kids, and they never knew anything. So I'm going to go with no, but those are always very interesting things. Like, I'll know I've made it when there's gay rumors about me. That's when I'll know. It's like,
but you did say
on Tom Cruise. Yeah, I'm still in the closet. So
you did say on this show that you're still in the closet. So maybe one day soon you can come out, Dave. It's safe. It's 2025.
I'll do it with you. I'll do it here.
Okay, you have to come on this show to come out. Yeah, like, it has to happen.
You have to hit the neon light when I come out. That has to be.
Yes, I will.
That's like when the Pope changes, the smoke, the white smoke. That's your neon light.
But there was news today. Like his team responded to that whole "I want to be dismissed" thing, and I actually was trying to find like a Deadline article, Variety, like anybody. Nobody was covering this. You broke the news for me because I was watching it on your channel to prepare for this interview or this meeting, whatever it is. By the way, I also saw your Taylor Lorenz interview.
Don't get the people started. Oh no.
We need to talk about that later. But okay.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
But so I saw this, like a fandom wire of all places covering it, saying Justin Baldoni makes Ryan Reynolds pay for what he said about Hugh Jackman. Justin Baldoni's team uses Ryan Reynolds' bizarre statement in an interview to go back up their defense amid the controversial feud with Blake Lively. So it says here, summary is Justin Baldoni's legal team gathered intriguing evidence that could support his lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The Canadian star's weird statement in an interview about Hugh Jackman did not sit well with many fans. That was, I think, the one where he was saying that I can do whatever I want. He said something very crazy. Where did they quote that? Oh, here's Zach Peter talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy.
And now that I'm so much bigger than him, I've taken many of those lessons. I've realized that I'm too big to fail at this point. So I just crush my enemies and drink their blood. What a weird thing to say. That is.
Yeah, look, the internet, they've done so many interviews that you could pull apart so many things, and there are real cookies, and then there's what looks like cookies, and those are like people's confirmation bias. So you can find a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, it's one of those like, all right, is this, I don't know, whatever. Sure. He says crazy things. He says it as Deadpool and as Ryan Reynolds. His whole shtick is like overly
edgy.
confident, edgy, kind of straight man, whatever. I don't know. So, but this whole case so far is, it's so complicated because you've got Blake, Ryan on one side, plus their PR people. Then you've got Baldoni, Wayfarer, plus like Jed Wallace, this random PR guy in Texas, plus his PR people. And then they're kind of countersuing each other. So they're both the plaintiff and the defendant. And Justin decided not to file a motion to dismiss. Blake and Ryan both filed a motion to dismiss, which is kind of, from all I've been told, is pretty standard. Like, here, I don't want to be a part of this. But Justin's side said, we didn't file a motion to dismiss because we know in today's world that the truth has to come out. The truth is everything. So it's not about dismissing. It's about either we'll dismiss this with a written apology and a lot of money, or we're taking it to trial. Yeah. So that's his side. And you got to be fair. You got to, for someone who's, Justin Baldoni's he's David versus Goliath. It's, you see that it's like, look, they've got no other option. They'll never work again if they don't get to tell their story. Yeah. Even if they're vindicated right now, what studio is going to touch Justin Baldoni when you can just hire any other dude to be the, you know what I mean? That's like
any other male feminist that's like lined up in Hollywood.
But it's like when, even if you're on the right side of a story, as has been proven, you're a liability, because there's still that, once you get to like a Johnny Depp level, you're at a level where you can still sell a movie, but like Baldoni's not at that level creatively. No. He's just not. No. So
people didn't even know this guy until this whole thing happened. The interesting part about this is that I actually, I knew who he was because I had watched Jane the Virgin, but I had forgotten it because it had been like years since I'd watched Jane the Virgin. And then when this whole thing happened, it was like the Jane the Virgin star. And I was like, oh my God, that's the guy from Jane the Virgin. So I was like,
it do background on that show. The studio was in Manhattan Beach, and it was brutal because it was one of those CW shows, and they actually have a worse rate, just like Gossip Girl. They pay less, and it's just on some studio lot. It's super, the show itself is fine, but it's just like, as far as like, you're not on some cool set all day. It's like, you're just in the studio. And it's extremely boring, but he seemed like a nice guy. I mean, he was just like the good looking soap star actor on the show, and I've had to learn a lot about him. I actually was in LA 2 weeks ago to do some podcasts, and I was at the Hollywood Improv, and a guy walks in, and he's he's like, oh, Dave Neal. And I assumed it was a comedian because I just like, that's where you see your friends. And the guy was like, so I was like, oh, hey. And I was just talking to him I would remember who he was, and I had no idea who he was. And he's like, I'm one of Justin's really close friends. And thank you so much for telling their story. And I was like, oh my gosh, you forget that these people are all watching, and maybe not every day, but they want to know that people are, they have so much appreciation. I've had so many people from the Baha'i faith, this community, reach out because they tried to use his kind of like, spirituality as some sort of like weird culty thing. When in fact, everyone I've met has chosen that faith because it's open. It doesn't shame other religions. It's kind of just good vibes. So
I'm Persian, and I know that Baha'i faith, originated in Iran and Persia. So I was pretty surprised when I heard that he was of the Baha'i faith. I was like, that's really interesting. So because so is Jamie Heath, I believe. And
Steve Sarowitz. Yeah, Steve Sarowitz is a Jewish man who he's like, look, you can be Jewish and be Baha'i. It's like, we're not trying to, it's like, do whatever. And you can take any religion. They try to smear them saying,
oh, weird,
they're anti-gay marriage. And it's like, well, join every other religion. Like, up until a few years ago, this is the world we lived in. It doesn't make it right. But, just because the religion came from that, so did a lot of society, so but yeah, no, it's been interesting to see the type of people come forward to just talk either privately or whatever that have followed this case, because it's so much bigger than the bubble that I was a part of.
Yeah. Real quick, let me get this super chat here from Low Watermark. And look at this. Now I can do this. Thanks, Low Watermark. We got this. Wait, it's not happening. There we go. Yeah. Now I need the music.
Nice.
Low Watermark for $20 says, hey, you go, girl. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, you can stop now. You can stop partying. Thank you. And I just wanted to get this one here from Russell Hall. I think this is about you. Oh, look. It's a dude from Malibu's Most Wanted. I don't get it. I don't get this reference at all. But thank you, Russell. Thank you for another 2. Says B-Rad da hizzy respect. I have no idea what you're talking about, Russell Hall, but thank you for the $2. 2 What Studios is here for $5. Says cheers. Do you guys think that this will tank Blake's, Ryan's, and now Hugh Jackman's careers? I certainly don't think Hugh Jackman is going to get affected career-wise. Blake, yes. Ryan remains to be seen. It all depends on if this goes to court and how the court thing plays out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Blake had some career where she's not like an Emma Stone level, I'm going to be in the Oscar conversation. So I'm sure, I hate to say at her age, but you age out of those roles that she did in her 20s, right? You just age out of it. So you have to, whether you're a male or female, you have to remake yourself. And I don't see her taking those types of roles. But if she wants to be in some Gilded Age role where she plays a completely different thing, I think she would get cast. But like this whole like lead in the rom-com thing is like, that's expiring regardless. So I don't think it's going to kill her career, but she's going to have to move into some different acting style roles, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ryan's going to try and weasel out of whatever happens. I kind of agree with that. But we'll see. I mean, it really does depend on how the court thing goes, because if the court thing comes out in Baldoni's way, people will get soured on Ryan Reynolds. Put
it this way, like no one goes to the movies anymore. But if my family's all like, hey, we're going to the movies, we're seeing that movie with Steve Carell and Ryan Reynolds, I'm not going to go, I'm pro. No, I'll go to the movie. I'm just whatever, like they're all going to be fine. They're going to get roles in these things. Because everything's moving to streaming, it's like Adam Sandler's, like all of his movies are on Netflix now. There's no like worry about how much they make. They just do well. And when you're faced with, choosing some movie, if it looks like it's got a good plot, people will watch it. I will say it does make you think twice to be like, oh, what's he doing now? In the same way other people that might have been canceled make their comebacks. Like if Kevin Spacey was in a movie, you'd be like, oh, but
it's weird.
Where it stands right now, I don't know. They'll work. They'll work.
I don't know if I'm never paying to watch another Ryan Reynolds movie. I can tell you that. Like for me, this is a personal choice. I will never watch Deadpool ever again. Like I don't care. Even if Deadpool's great, they can bring back every MCU character on earth and I won't give a shit. I'm not supporting Ryan Reynolds ever again. I think that Ryan Reynolds is a terrible person and he's a bully. And like you said, Blake wasn't really getting that much movies anyways. So I don't think I'll have to worry about her. But Ryan Reynolds, I'm doing a personal boycott on him. I'm not saying everybody else should, but
I've
for
never
me,
seen Deadpool.
he's
I've
done.
never seen those. I'm kind of, boring where I don't really go after that type of movie. So this hasn't been a big like punch in my gut,
Mhm. Well, Ryan Reynolds is still Van Wilder. Like even in Deadpool, like you said, you've seen Van Wilder. You've basically seen every single Ryan Reynolds movie. He's never not Van Wilder. Like that's his act. Like that's basically who he is in every single movie. So it's just like, again, I don't think I'm missing anything. 201 Studios for 5 says Matt Bomber has been through it. I first knew him from Chuck.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Bomer.
There's also another. Oh wait, just to be on this topic still with the response. Do you have anything else to add about what they said? Because I know you've read a lot of it. So is there anything else you want to kind of?
So the response from Baldoni was basically to tell the judge, here's why we think you shouldn't dismiss him. Because at this level, you don't have to present all the evidence. You just have to like say your case as to what evidence you will present. And so Ryan Reynolds, his argument was basically like, yeah, I called him a sexual predator. I believe he's a sexual predator. I'm protected under that opinion. Baldoni's response is, no, you're not. This is defamation per se. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but what they were saying is you didn't just say it. You said it to people at WME to get him dropped. You said it with knowledge, not just an opinion that he's a predator, but with knowledge that would have been intimate to you. Like you knew something no one else did because you're married to Blake Lively. So their argument is we want to present in court like why we think you can't just get away with saying predator because it's one of the worst things you can say about someone. I mean, it falls in that cancelable category. So that's their argument. And it'll come down to the judge to decide, well, does he need to be in this case or not? And I think the judge is going to rule in favor of Justin Baldoni because it's like, how do you even make this judgment before you get to the jury level when there is a lot of, there's a lot of protection over speech, but there's a lot of other things going on. Like Ryan Reynolds, I think they brought in the fact that he has a management company. So he can operating kind of on that boss level, maybe isn't protected the same way you would if you just said something about somebody else. So it was very complicated to read the response to it because, this isn't the part of the trial where they're just like spewing insults at each other. But Justin Baldoni's side just says, look, you were part of the conspiracy to take this film. And the fact that Ryan Reynolds was involved in like that argument they had at his house, that should be enough, in my opinion, to like be like, sorry, you're stuck in this. You're a part of it. Like you're in the center of this.
Yeah, I wanted to share this picture with you because when I first saw the video, because that was a big, like, it changed my mind a lot about what was going on when they dropped the video of that behind the scenes thing and how Blake was acting. And to them, they think they won with that because they're like, oh, she's, there's like all these micro things that she's doing. And like, he's sexually harassing her. But I was like, all I saw was a woman in full control who actually was directing and like was like telling him what to do. And because she could have walked away at any moment. If you are feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling like whatever, and there's certain things that the body language will do to you. And so I saw this picture the other day and I was like, see, this is what I was expecting to see when I saw that video. This is Macron going in to greet I forget her name, but this is the Italian prime minister.
Yikes.
And she's just like, don't touch me. Like this is what I was expecting to see Blake Lively kind of,
That's so funny. Yeah, it's so hard because they're acting. So everyone's like, there's people that were like, oh, Blake looks creeped out. I'm like, does she? And then it's like, you almost have to watch anything you see on camera because you're in character. Now, Blake argues that Justin wasn't in character because he wasn't talking in character, but it's like, well, it didn't matter what he was saying because they were trying to elicit, he could have been like, all right, I just shit my pants. If he wanted to get her to laugh, he could say whatever he wants just to get a smile out of her. It doesn't matter.
But he was also like, she was also not in character. She was all like,
right.
You know, she was saying she was playing along, like everything she was doing, she was playing along. She was just like,
just because your words aren't in character doesn't mean that kiss is not in character or the nuzzling on all of that. So
correct.
They could have done a better job of having an intimacy coordinator before and after every scene, but like that's literally what you need is to have stuff on record literally all day, every day. The biggest case against Blake Lively, in my opinion, is that there is no text message to her agent, none to Ryan Reynolds, none to Taylor Swift or anybody that says that she wasn't comfortable in the moment. And
she didn't go to Sony or Wayfair immediately to file a complaint and be like, I'm uncomfortable. This was bullshit.
I get the idea that sometimes you're like fight or flight or freeze, right? You're just like, I don't even know. But I always say this, if it's too cold at my wife's work, she's going to text me and let me know. You're going to text your partner what's going on. How are the kids? Oh, the director's a creep. We don't have.
It's so true.
And if you're on set, you're not just making phone calls. These text messages would exist. And all they have to do is find one of them for me to go, well, at least she felt creeped out in the moment. And we just don't have that.
Exactly. And that's what I was waiting for as well with all the texts being released. I was like, after they put their website on, I was like, okay, Blake, it's up to you to come out with the, here is my version of the text. Like, here's the ones that they left out. And I sent to my husband and I said, oh my God, he creeped me out today. He touched my ass again or whatever it was. Like, and we never got any of that. And then in fact, what we did get from Blake's side was the New York Times article where they were like taking out the context emojis and like all the, like all the little things and that changes the picture, right?
And that's one of the main things that was said in this response by Baldoni, which is that they'll take something and twist it and contort it into a lie. So they'll take this, the porn that was on set that really wasn't, and they'll make it something that it's not, and that works on the accusation level. But when you get to court, it doesn't. And the other thing people have said is, well, maybe she has text messages she hasn't released yet. And it's like, all right, fine. But also that would be the shittiest PR strategy of all time. Here she is getting crucified and she can't just drop the DMs.
Yeah, because that argument actually makes no sense. Because if you did have that, you would want to go to court and have discovery. Instead, they're like, we need this case dismissed. Like, we want out. Like, we don't want this to happen. So it's like, if you had the truth on your side, you wouldn't be like, oh, maybe I'm actually going to tiptoe and like walk backwards. Like, that's not what would be happening. She would have released it by now, I think, especially after seeing Justin Baldoni do that. And B, she wouldn't be asking for it to get dismissed.
I mean, early on, there was like people commenting early on being like, there's video of him putting his hand up her skirt. Wait till you see it. And then it was like, what? Like who, like it could have just been crazy, reckless strangers trying to get attention, or it could have been like calling people's bluff to make it hurt really bad. But like they said, all right, show it all. And that's what every audience member said is, we'll change our mind. I've said this before. If you show me some ring cam footage they find of the trailer and he's groping him, gone.
I'm the same way. I'm like, you show me that guy was a fucking creep, I will eat every single word that I've said about Blake Lively. But that's not what's happening. And today, something else came out. I think it was today or yesterday. And I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? Blake Lively reveals that it was her idea to touch co-star Henry Golding's privates while filming A Simple Favor. I'm pretty sure there was no intimacy coordinator on set with that as well. So Blake Lively admits that it was her idea to touch co-star Henry Golding's private parts while filming a scene together for A Simple Favor. It resurfaced commentary about the movie after it wrapped. The 37-year-old actress discussed the scene with director Paul Feig and co-star Anna Kendrick per a video shared on TikTok and X. Wait, is this an actual video that we can watch? Let's watch it. Oh, I think they put this on in this thing here. There's the thing. Let's watch this video together.
I got a content strike on YouTube for my thumbnail sharing that crotch grab.
Really?
I got a warning, and if it happens again, they're gonna cut me out for a week. I had to take a sex sensitivity course on YouTube last night.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm changing mine
So
immediately after this.
when you look at my thumbnail now, it's like super blurred out. But I was like, I thought that was fine. It's like her grabbing his crotch, but no, not okay.
Oh my God. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna be like doing some Photoshop immediately after this. But okay, so this is the stream, or this is the thing that they're referencing.
To grabbing her co-star's nuts because she felt like that's just what her character would do.
Wait, so am I blaming my husband? Right, am I saying he killed her? Right.
One of my favorite additions that you came up with. I think is nuts. And you really went for it. Too.
That's always awkward. You're like, hey, hi, nice to meet you. Can I grab her nuts? Like, really hard?
But really hard?
What the
fuck?
fuck?
Because I feel like she would.
Remember we kept going like, can you do it harder?
Yeah, and that was my tip of the hat to baby Jane Hudson.
Yes.
Oh, she's spinning on the beach at the end.
Oh, it's so great. Then you ADR'd a little extra, like, the little laughs and stuff. It's fantastic.
It's an aviation American Jen again?
Wow.
Shameless.
Oh, my God. I want dividends.
Blake, sweetie, where was the intimacy coordinator?
Yeah, where was the intimacy?
Not to give Blake any benefit of the doubt, but sometimes you do these press things and you fib. Yeah, I decided to go in for it. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did do that. But I would love to hear from this actor. Like, this is where you would want to bring the actor in under oath and be like, how did this go down? Because I'm sure she still asked him, but she's coming at it from a position of power. Also, and I'm not big into culture war issues, but there is this fetishizing of Asian males that happens, and to have some white woman just grabbing some Asian guy's dick is like, I'm not saying it's better or worse than if she did it to any other race, any other ethnic race, but it's just with some of the other things that's come out with, like Blake putting her feet up on this black guy for some ad like that came out.
I saw that.
When you add these up over and over, you're like, it certainly doesn't help her cause. And I shared this today to go, look, I don't know if this would show up in the trial or not, but when you can show this sort of hypocrisy, grabbing this guy's junk, if it was done without the methods of negotiation,
or consent, like he just like didn't see it coming, and she's just like, I'm sure they worked it out in rehearsal, but it doesn't make it right, because like, what's he going to say? No. And again, if I was in the same place, I'd be like, go for it. Like, what? I mean, especially if he's a straight guy, I don't think he's going to say no.
I shared what happened with Terry Crews. He sued his agent for grabbing his junk, and it settled, and his agent was with WME, and that was done at a party, completely assaulty to do it. He was probably,
I remember he complained about that. Yeah,
and it's like you're doing this to someone else, and there's no way he could have responded in a way that, he would have looked bad if he punched the guy, and it was like it's a no-win situation.
Right.
To put on set, if you do believe the character should do that, I would say you got to talk to the director, and you got to work that through a channel that goes through their agents and really sits people down and find a way to do it. And maybe that was the case, maybe not, but it doesn't look good. It does not.
No. And like, she didn't even bring it up. It's the other guy, the director, that brought it up. It was one of my favorite things that you did was, and then, did this to this guy. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. Cause I just thought, that's what she would do. So she didn't, she just kind of continued with, so that people saw that happen, as including the director. So it wasn't just like, oh yeah, let me just.
What? He might that Henry Golding, whoever, he might be like, you know what? I told her, do whatever you want with me. I'm a prop, baby. Use,
sure.
He might have. We don't know.
True.
We don't know. But like, yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad.
It does look bad. And then there was this other thing that she did the other day, which apparently was just her. It's her idea. She was like, I'm going to do this because I need my fans to like me again. So I'm going to go to like some, what's it called? I'm going to go to some, a bakery and pretend to bake with my friends. And she did that. And, I guess people started calling her out because she was not even wearing a hairnet, and she had her like frizzy hair, down.
It's good PR. I mean, it's good. It's not, what people have to remember is, there might be a couple 100,000, maybe even 1 million people that are following this, but there's a fan base. I mean, she's got 25 million followers or whatever. Mm-hmm. There is a method where they salvage their careers, and they do it by not being silenced. And again, I'm not saying it's right, but this is the PR move. Don't go to some soup kitchen and make it so obvious. Go just do that. They'll catch you, the PR, and what it does too is you might not be changing people's minds, but when they search Blake Lively, maybe even a year down the road, maybe one of these articles replaces one of my videos, so
Oh my God, yeah.
these little things do help them out.
Mhm.
Whatever.
I mean, it backfired for her a little bit because people were like, what are you doing? Like, this is just not a good look right now. But I also don't think this has anything to do with the case. So it's like, it's one of those things where, like, I see that happen a lot. Like, a lot of YouTubers will just like be like, look what she did now. And I'm like,
It's like,
okay,
yeah.
does this have anything to do with Justin Baldoni?
Trader Joe's. It's like, okay, all right, I get it. It's a little obvious. It's a PR thing. They do these.
Yeah.
For all we know, she could have had this planned 8 months ago. I doubt it.
She
But
wanted
it's
to
like,
hang out with the poors, Dave. Come on. She's one of us. She's like, I'm gonna go to a bakery and pretend to bake, even though I've never touched a freaking, spoon in my life because I've been just basically fed like all my life.
yeah. I mean,
she's
yeah,
like,
I'm not defending her. You do see it's like, well, what is she supposed to do? Just
Mhm.
take the loss and bury herself? No, she's gonna do PR.
No, I disagree, Dave. What she should be doing is disappearing. Like, I would not be seen at all. Like, unless I'm doing promo for a movie, like she did with, Simple Favor, I would be off everything,
Maybe
social media.
maybe this is her floating, like, how much can I do?
Because she went to SNL too. She went to SNL with Ryan, and that was a bomb.
I agree with you. What she should do is just take a nice long holiday and
Mhm.
then go be a parent. Like, if you're going to be in misery and have to deal with all this, you might as well just be a great parent and take this as a couple years to connect with your kids and then come back. And I mean, Hollywood likes a redemption story. Now,
They do.
that only is going to happen if she admits to what she did, but in some odd world where she actually believes it. I mean, sometimes people, like the Laura Owen stuff, sometimes people will take it to the grave that they believe they were wronged. And it's like, okay, well, people can vote with their dollars and do whatever they want, but it's not looking good. I mean, and I'm not saying you should apologize if you don't think you did something wrong, but if someone could get to her and be like, look, just talk. And again, I've said this over and over, and people think, oh, you're giving her an out. And it's like, exactly. Baldoni's side gave her an out by saying the PR person is the one who gave you all of these text messages out of context. Maybe you pieced it together and thought that Baldoni's side started a smear campaign, but it's like, you realized I'm just unliked because of me, and I need to work on myself. Like, make
This is the me problem.
You could literally go into it and be like, I got the hint. I'm not liked. I'm gonna go away.
This is Dave. This is like one of those Simpson memes when like the Principal Skinner's like, am I really that out of touch? And then he's like, no, it's the children who are wrong. Like, this is definitely that, but Blake Lively, like, he's like, no, it's everybody else is wrong.
I think it's the way to do it. I think the way to do it is to just like own up to it and say, I got these texts, I pieced it all together, and I couldn't see it any other way. And in the way I look, but by all means, she still did all of those accusations to him way before the text messages came in. So it's like, I don't have all the answers for her, but I know that when you do hit rock bottom, realize that people do like a comeback. It could take a while, but it would have to involve an apology and retribution.
But at the very least, you could have somewhat of a career in the future. Whereas now, I don't think anyone's going to like you. Like how things are going now, it's going to take a lot longer for you to have a comeback.
What director is going to want to take the movie they've spent 5 years developing and give it to someone who's might steal the storyline?
Right.
It's like Anna Kendrick gets the part. Like, it's a liability.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I know you have to go soon, so I'm going to really quickly tell you what I thought of the Taylor Lorenz interview. Nothing on you, Dave. I love you. I can't believe you gave her your time. I cannot stand that woman because I think let me just say that I believe that she's part of the problem. So everything that she was telling you in your interview, she was basically just saying that, that first of all, that everybody needs to like understand that there's like, what did she go? Like, she wants everyone to have media literacy or whatever.
Oh, I was so aware of the irony there. My thought is this. she's got a much bigger audience than I do. She's in 300,000 on Twitter. She's got all these other things. Maybe my audience is bigger on YouTube, but to me, it's a chance to talk to her audience. And this is what people will disagree with me on, but having those conversations is me auditioning to her audience, my reasonableness. Her audience might be like, oh, all men think this way. They're onto this. All these people covering it are super pro this or misogynistic. And then they see me and they go, well, maybe not. And then
maybe there's a reasonable person, a white male that's got really nice hair and is straight. That could be reasonable. I understand your point of view. I just like everything that was coming out of her mouth was so just like she was lying to you. And
it's like I called her. I mean I like pushed back on a few things, but like, we're walking around the park. The point of the conversation.
You should have pushed her into the fence. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
She was walking so fast, I was out of shape. But people are allowed their opinions, and to be quite honest, it was some of the bullshit that came from that, which I don't have time to get into, is just like I think what's wrong with people might be like, all right, Dave, you shouldn't have done that. Okay, but what I think is wrong is. And not nothing that you're saying is the people that are like severely disappointed. And it's like, I would have conversations with anybody. I truly believe if I have a conversation with somebody, their audience might see me as a guy that they'll tune into. And if that's like, well, you're platforming her, she's been mean to other YouTubers. Okay, I understand. But for me, the longer term solution is I would rather have her as a phone number I can call versus an enemy. But again,
right. Keep your enemies close. I understand the logic.
And I don't even see her as an enemy. I mean, I understand she's been mean to other people, but like I had a perfectly fine conversation with her. I come from a family with like very mixed political beliefs. So I'm used to being able to talk to someone who quite literally I have zero in common with and going, all right, well, we'll find the thing. We'll talk about whatever. And
I love that you talk to her. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, with her, everything she was saying to you is she paved the way. Like this is her reporting, her partisan reporting, everything that she does, how she conducts herself as a journalist is what has created this circumstance in which now she's found herself after Trump winning, trying to be more center and be like, well, the left made all these mistakes and, we need to learn from all these mistakes so that maybe we can.
Do you think she's center?
She pretends she is. She's
I think it's
far
so
left.
For me, I'm like, I'm very progressive, but some people might see that as centrist, but it's not at all. And I just think it's more three-dimensional than that. Because she, in my interview with her, criticized a lot about the Democratic Party. And again, I don't know where she stands on every issue, but I just think it's like, if you're on the left, you should be comfortable criticizing your own.
The only reason she's criticizing them is because they lost. Yeah. That's the only reason.
And that might be the only reason Blake Lively ever apologizes. I mean, it's like maybe there's a world where she doesn't change her stripes and she's the same she'll always be. The whole like ethos of what I hope for and aspire to, and I try to be a part, and I'm not saying this to preach, but I try to be a part of that change, to go, look, people change their opinions. People flip political parties, or they realize the party left them. And I don't know what her beliefs are, but I'm unwavering on mine. And you get these like the girl Stephanie McNeil who wrote the Glamour article. People are all mad about that. And I'm like, we have to remember, we have the bigger megaphone now. And like, if I've got a bigger like YouTube megaphone than Taylor Lorenz, but she still has a massive like social media audience and name cachet. I mean, she went from my thing to doing Piers Morgan, right? So it's like any of those people that want to come to my channel, you can hear what I have to say. I'm open for business. This is my donut shop here. Blake Lively, I would have a chat with her. And again, some people just don't like that. And I come from like the comedian school where like I'll talk to anyone in the crowd. As long as
I love that about you. No, I love that. I would talk to her too. I might be a little meaner than you were.
I got a buddy interview. I have a buddy interviewing one of my arch nemesis. I can't. It's something we had to deal with today. Something we talked about. And I'll just say this: I wasn't mad that my buddy's going to platform the guy, because I'm like, you know what? You'll share with a new audience how this guy's a fraud. And if people like or don't like Taylor, it led to a lot of people being disappointed in me. And I'm like, I don't think you get what I do. Like it doesn't like, you can hear somebody's opinion that you completely disagree with. And it doesn't mean I truly think I hold the audience to a very high intellectual level that
she didn't. She was like, everyone's so stupid. They're all gonna fall for all the right wingers.
I know. I agree with you. I go, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the video they watch after Candace Owens. People can make up their, so I'm totally with you on that. And I leave my audience to go like, look, if you disagree with some of the things Taylor said, chances are a lot of my like core audience might be more educated in the circumstance because they've been following me. So you might go, oh boy, half the things she said is bullshit. It's like, yeah, what am I supposed to do? End the interview there? You know, like she kind of said,
that's it. You're over. Like, no, you got to pull what's his name?
I disagree. It's like, don't get mad at the right-wing media if they're doing a better job at social media than the left. Like,
you gotta be a Rupert Murdoch though, Dave. You gotta just call it off right there. Fucking pull the mic.
And then just like quietly walk back to our cars. I get it. People can have their opinion, but like on mine, I'm like, look, I'm fishing for my own audience. You know, I'm having these conversations because it's a chance to connect and sharpen our own tools.
Well, you know what, Dave? Thank you for coming on my show because
thank you so much.
You're so great, and
I always love chatting with you. You're a breath. You need literally about 100 times the audience size. What are we doing here?
Thank you. I know. I believe. I agree with you, but I just I don't think YouTube likes me very much. I don't know why.
I get to get you on my show, and we'll do like a proper where I interview you because we haven't done that yet. So let's set that.
Yeah. I would love that. I would love that. And I just got a huge super chat from Ian so forth. So we're gonna party. We gotta party, you guys. Now I know what to do with these super chats.
That's a big 50 pounds.
50 pounds. This is what I love about people who view the world through the paradigm of humor. Everyone is welcome, but everyone is fair game too. I love that, Ian. That's very true.
It's true. Like when Taylor said a few things about how like kind of speaking down to the audience, I was like, this isn't going to play well, but like, I know people are listening and, you know, people can re-listen and they can judge that. People thought I was too easy on her. I'm like, I'm just giving, you know, maybe.
Well, then what were you going to do? Because I also understand where you like who you were interviewing. Cause if you came at it a different way, like I said, you are a straight white male, Dave. You could be the next Me Too person where Taylor Lorenz is suing you for god awful whatever. Oh my God, I had the worst interview with Dave Neal. You'd never believe how he treated me. I can see it.
I've got some cachet and belief that truth and with the right audience and the right megaphone that you kind of protect yourselves from that, because I had that crazy person I never met calling the FBI on me, you know, for crazy things. So like I've seen it play out and I do know how harmful it can be, but you know, you just have to, you know, you decide, do I live in a friendly world or an unfriendly world? And while people do exist that will try to smear you and cancel you and all these things, I think the bigger audience out there, maybe the quiet one, is the one that supports you. And when you are kind of like have your back against the wall and when you are getting threatened, you realize that they're activated and they come to your back. And I've had such an amazing opportunity to see my audience come to my back in these weird moments where people come after you. So it's like, I got Khaleesi's dragons, you know?
Dude, your crowd is amazing. Like they've been in the chat. I've seen all of your crowd being like, "Oh yay, Dave is here," even before you came on.
I'll give a shout out to Teresa. She's in the chat. She always comes to my shows. I was in LA. She drove probably an hour in traffic to my show. She invites me to a little restaurant right next to the show. There's Teresa, and she's got a burger waiting for me and my Diet Coke. She knows I like a Diet Coke, and she's been in more shows. I'm like, boy, she must hate me by now. But no, my audience is amazing. They are in you know, you find them and you hold on to them because they're good people.
That's I love my audience too, and Ian is one of them, and he sent another 20. Guess what, Ian? We're gonna be dancing to this. Thank you. Woo! It's like that's what is this getting lame now, Artie?
No.
Lame when I can't even start it. Thank you for the 20 pounds. Ian says I haven't watched Reynolds 8 ages because I hate that fourth wall humor shit. It's so easy and lazy. It's true. I'm not a fan anymore either, Ian. I'm over it. Thank you for that. And then we got 3 more, and then we're out, Dave. We're out. 201 Studio for 2 says Italian PM Maloney is hot. Lots of charisma. She is pretty. She's a pretty lady. She didn't like Macron. 201 Studio for 5 says it's almost like Ryan Reynolds and Blake planned these things out on every project She warms her way into production and then brings him in to take over. She's like, they're weird. They're like this. I don't know. There needs to be like an animation or something about them, like some weird snake, like a two-headed snake or something like that. There's Teresa again. We watch people and talk people. We don't like to respect them at all. It's life. Thank
I
you,
actually
Teresa.
enjoy conversations when you go like, oh shit, so and so's had a beef with so and so and they're talking. I don't know. Maybe that's me growing up with Maury Povich, but
Baby. I love Mari too. 201 Studios for 2 says, I've had the opposite. Asian guy grabbing my junk. Oh my God. You got
yeah,
by an Asian girl?
humble
Did you
brag.
like it? Did you enjoy it? I'm sure you did. I don't know why. Why am I even asking? Dave, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Please plug your wares and your channel, anything you want to plug before
Yeah, I
over.
think since the last time I was on with you, the Rush Hour podcast is now on YouTube as well. So you can watch it every morning at 9 a.m. Central and usually like 2 p.m. I do it every morning and every afternoon. All of the day's content, pop culture, entertainment, politics. I appreciate all the support. My Instagram, D Neals, you can see, I'll post any stand-up shows I've got. So if I'm in your neck of the woods, you can come out and laugh and, yeah, good stuff.
Do that. And his website links for the podcast is all in the description, including his YouTube channel and his Twitter. I didn't put your Instagram, but I can do that when I go change the thumbnail.
Yes, no worries.
But thank you so much again. And to the crowd, to the audience, thank you so much for watching, you guys. You have been fantastic. Special thanks to those of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all the good stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel in the way that you do. And I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.